Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Good morning here, or evening, wherever you are. I'm Monica Hutchinson, and I'm here with my business partner and partner in crime, Krista Kathleen. We're the co-founders of Fearless Public Speaking, and we wanted to come to you today to talk a little bit about how we've turned our mess into our message. Because, stuff happens in your life that maybe doesn't feel very good while it's happening. It feels like shit, let's be honest. And it might just seem like why are all of these things happening to me? And once you get past that really painful point, you start to realize that maybe there was something behind this. Now, I don't love saying everything happens for a reason for me personally, because I know when I was going through the shit, like that felt really edgy. But there could be some kind of purpose moving forward for you to be able to share this message out with the world, and you might feel called to serve or have a bigger mission or goal of helping other people heal because you were able to get to the other side of the shit show that was your life for whatever reason that looked like. Krista, what did you want to add into that?
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that, Monica, because sometimes I get nervous to say that to people too, of like, well, maybe this is all happening for a reason. That statement helps me get through my hardest times. And we can talk about that here upcoming, but I know for some people yeah, you're right. It is an edgy statement. It's a bold thing to say. And so I think it's so important for everyone let's be honest, everyone has got shit that's happened in their life, or if it hasn't happened, it's coming. We all have skeletons. We all have unexpected things happen. And at the end of the day, you get to decide the reasoning behind it and the purpose, and you get to decide, how to turn your mess into your message. And no one can tell you how to do that or what that needs to look like. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. So, why Krista and I wanted to talk about this more is we know that how we felt in the past is probably similar to what a lot of you have been feeling, which is you really want to share this story, but you might be super terrified to do it because there could be parts of it that feel edgy, or they feel like they might hurt other people's feelings, or they feel like, you're going to get people who have big opinions that are different than yours. And that feels kind of scary to put that out into the world and let people have just a field day with everything that you've gone through. But you know that there's a bigger purpose to why this happened to you. And you want to channel that energy of all of the shit that went through my life. Now I want to give it purpose and help other people to move through that and to feel inspired to be able to get out of that shitstorm. So it's really can be a challenge. And Krista, I know you have some other ideas around pain points that you wanted to share too.
Yeah. Well, so that if you just saw, that is Willow. She's a chocolate lab. She's my newest dog client that I get to hang out with 3 times a week. So I'm just letting you all know, being a professional dog walker and dog sitter is like the best. It's so much fun.
I know I got a dog walk later today, so I'm with you on that.
It's so rewarding. It's nice to take a break from human clients sometimes and just have dog clients.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and this might be a good segue into sharing like my story and how I really turned my pain into purpose. And then I can, hopefully people can relate to my story. But I've found that, again, I feel that the universe helped me to intervene in a lot of different places in my life when I was starting to severely go off the wrong path. And there's so many times that was happening throughout my life, getting really neck deep into the Lutheran religion when it never felt right. And I never felt like I could connect with God on the way I wanted to. Accidentally getting pregnant at 22 years old and just feeling like this is not the right time to become a mom, and deciding not to become a mom at that time. Entering into a marriage because I thought it was what I was supposed to do at that time. And, we ended up getting divorced. And before that, we opened our marriage up and tried swinging and polyamory. And There's just been a lot of things that happened in my life, and I don't think any of it's random. I think it all happened because I was meant to write this book that I'm getting ready to release here pretty soon, Beyond the White Picket Fence. And I'm teaching people how to break out of the life that others expect them to live. And I've created my whole coaching business around helping women to create a life and business on their own terms, and to let people know, like, your life doesn't have to look and feel like anyone else's, and it shouldn't. And so again, I've really like given myself permission to take these big life events and to create things from them. I've created group programs, I've created retreats, I've created a book, I've created a business around all these things that have happened. And as a result, I'm getting to make money in a way that feels good and it feels aligned. And I'm also getting to help people in the way I really want to help people. And so this is what we mean when we say, like, turn your mess into your message, or turn your pain into your purpose. Monika, what is, if you want to, I would love to hear your life story, and what's some ways that you've used your unexpected life events to, make an income and make a bigger impact.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of similarities between me and Krista's stories, which is probably why we connected so much when we first met. But for me, it goes all the way back to like being a kid. I wanted to be a singer. I went to college on vocal music scholarship. And my dad, being the responsible human he was, told me, you should have a backup plan because singing can be really challenging. And though he didn't mean anything negative by it, I really internalized that and kind of allowed for that to take away my voice a little bit, literally and figuratively, in so many different ways. So not only did I get an undergrad in vocal music performance, I got an MBA as well, right out of college. And I went out and found a safe job in financial services. I worked in a call center, and over the years, I worked my way up through human resources and then training. And that's where, I got to kind of put my voice out there a little bit more. But there were so many things along the way that happened as well. So, like Krista, I thought you were supposed to get married and have kids, and I grew up Catholic, so all of these different things that just felt like not super aligned with my own mindset, but I went along with them because I thought that was what you were supposed to do. And I tried to have kids. I went through 3 fertility cycles, which none of them ended in a live birth, and ended up eventually deciding to have my tubes removed as an act of taking my power back and realizing I never actually wanted kids in the first place. But myself and my ex-husband were also in the, in an open relationship and in the swinger lifestyle for almost a decade. I had 4 different friends die from cancer in 1 year. They were all under the age of 40. And then my dad was diagnosed with lung cancer in 2017, and he died 4 months later. And that really just tore me apart. I'm just had a therapy session yesterday, and like we only brushed the surface of what, is going to take to heal that one. But there was a point during all of this, it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago, where I remember sitting in the hot tub with my ex-husband and having a conversation about how I had this spark inside of me that was lit, that was like, man, all of this shit is happening. Like, I feel like I have a bigger purpose, a bigger calling to help people and to be of service to the world. And I was told that, no offense, but you're never going to make a difference. And that really was, while it was very hurtful at the time, and I know that I know what his rationale was. We had the conversation after that about where he was coming from. It came off a lot harsher, but people's words, we internalize that stuff a lot of the times. Like, we take it a different way than what was meant and not what was intended, and that's what sticks with us. And for me, though, not only was that pretty heartbreaking, but it also lit the fire under my ass to start making changes, to be like, no, I'll show you I can make a difference. So I found life coaching. Actually, Krista was one of my first coaches, and I started a business. I discovered that I identified as polyamorous, which is, open to multiple forms of love. I got divorced. I shaved half my head and dyed my hair purple. I need to redo that soon because it's not very vibrant right now. And then I started to get into fights with my boss at work in my corporate job, and just realized that it wasn't aligned with where I was at anymore, with this big voice that was coming out of me that they were trying to silence because it didn't fit in with the corporate vibe that they wanted. So I left my corporate job. I moved into my own apartment. And now going back to that dream of being a singer, which I kind of left behind all those years, I'm taking voice lessons again. And, I have dreams of doing musical theater. I'm about to go out and start booking speeches. I'm in the process of writing a book. And then Krista and I have Fearless Public Speaking together that we run to help women speak out into the world. And I also have my Taboo Talk group where we talk about the kind of stuff that I've gone through or other people are going through, maybe the things that feel a little bit edgier that people aren't quite comfortable with sharing with the world yet. So I feel like I really have taken my mess and turned it into the message of everything that I do.
Yeah, and with your ex-husband, I never met him, but I can assume like when he said that comment to you, it had nothing to do with you, and it had everything to do with him and the messages that he's been told growing up. And so he was just basically like sharing other people's stories, I would assume. Right. And so then you get to decide what that means for you and how you're going to use that. And you obviously use it as fuel for your fire, which is great. That's amazing. But some people could say like, oh, you know what, you're right. I'm never going to amount to anything, or I'm never going to do anything big with my life. Or you're right. If you don't believe in me, then why would I believe in myself? So we really do get the choice at the end of the day, because we are going to, as we start to become more visible with our message and follow our purpose, we're going to get all kinds of interesting reactions from people. And again, it really, I know we hear this a million times, but it's not us, it's them. And it's like we get to choose what to do with these reactions and these comments, and we can use it to propel us forward, or it can either hold us back.
And don't get me wrong, it did hold me back for a bit. And this is another place of therapy where I'll definitely continue to work, but we get to choose when we want to move forward. And the time is whenever you decide that it's time to move forward. And you can own that bad shit happened in your life, but you also get to own how you take that and like translate it into a better life for yourself.
Yeah. And also another thing I wanted to, you were talking about pain points earlier, Monika. Excuse me, everyone. I'm dealing with spring allergies here in the Midwest, which is super fun. But, when you are feeling called to serve, and you've been chosen to go through these things for a reason, and now it's to help other people get through their shit and overcome your hardest struggles. If you don't answer that calling or listen to that, it's going to drive you crazy. It's going to keep you up at night. You're going to feel unfulfilled. You're going to feel, you might even start to experience some forms of depression and anxiety. And this is just what I've noticed in myself and what I've noticed in my clients too. And this is usually when people come to me and they say, I want to find my purpose. I know it's that they were put on this earth for a reason, and they're feeling that silent, like tapping on their shoulder by the universe that's saying like, hey, are you listening? It's time. It's time. I've let you do your own thing for a while, but now it's time to switch directions, to change course. So that way you can help more people. You can make more of an impact. You can make more money. You can wake up every day feeling like you're doing what you were meant to do. But a lot of times that's so scary for us to receive that calling. And we're like, nope, don't do that. Don't, not ready for that yet. I'm not in, we just like ignore the breadcrumbs the universe is giving to us. And it's really, that's the path towards happiness and success. But sometimes you have to be willing to step into the unknown and take some risk and just lead with your heart and have faith, which society doesn't really tell us how to do that, or that it's okay to do that. And it's always a lot of times like, you have to have this 3-year plan. You have to have this 5-year plan. You have to have 6 months worth of savings in your bank account before you take any type of career risk, or, it's just, we get all these mixed messages from our friends and family and society, and it can really just fuck with us. And it fucks with with our bigger purpose and our mission at the end of the day.
Well, and your brain is made to keep you safe, right? This has to do with where we were as cavemen and cavewomen back in the day. Like, our brain is trained to keep us safe. And when we try and teach it something different or to do something different, it automatically is like, nope, nope, don't do that. It's not safe. It's not safe, because our brain perceives these ideas of risk that aren't real, like, bodily harm or whatever, as actual risks, like it used to be way back in the day. And our brains haven't evolved enough to really know the difference. And so we have to retrain them to take action. I'm reading The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins right now. And if you haven't read it yet, it's an amazing book. But it's that idea of, having a brain that's trained towards action, so that when you're thinking about something, you don't just sit there in the thought, you actually go take action right away. And that's, I know, something I've really worked with clients on, is like, okay, what is it you're thinking? Say it out loud and let's go do something. It may not be the big thing, but when you start taking those little actions, that's how you get there. So, having one difficult conversation or sharing one little nugget of information. And then the other thing too that came up for me was, you're never gonna be ready to share your story. Okay. There is not some magical day that just happened. Even that experience I shared about the hot tub, like, that was not the day that I went out and blasted my story to the world. That was the catalyst to start thinking differently and to start doing differently. They say, like, you're never ready to have a baby. I'm sure Krista can relate to that right now, especially. You're never ready to have a baby if you wait until you're ready financially or whatever it looks like. And I think this is why a lot of people now are waiting until our age in their 30s to have kids, because they want to be responsible, they want to be ready, and there's an element of truth to that. But bottom line is, you are never gonna be fully ready. So why not start taking action now, right? Why not start trying things out and seeing what happens, and then figuring out how to navigate? Because we live life right now, many of us live life in this place of, like, I have this plan and this is exactly how it's going to go. And if it doesn't go that way, I don't know what to do. And I failed in the end. Well, life is a journey, not a destination, right? I got to tell myself that every damn day. Life is a journey, not a destination. You're going along the road of life. Something goes wrong. Okay, we change, we redirect course, we take a back road to still get there. So we've got to stop thinking about it as this one-stop shop, like, this is where we're going, and that's the only way to get there, because that's not how it works.
Yep, I agree with you. You're never fully ready to start being vulnerable on the internet, or to fully share your story through a speech, or to run that first group program or workshop or retreat, or to have a baby and change your life forever. And if you wait to feel like 100% good, then it won't happen. It won't happen. So I always like to tell people, like, decide what your threshold is. Do you need to feel like 75% ready, 80% ready? Like, what does that really look like? And then that's how we can get people to really, it's a mix of feeling safe, but also allowing yourself to take messy action as well. And then there's risk with not taking action too. I've experienced that in my life. I didn't take action with for a long time, it felt bad to be a nurse. There was many years I wanted to quit, and I was like, it's too risky to quit. Well, guess what happened? I got fired. So the universe decided to help me quit. So again, there's definitely risk with not taking action as well.
Yeah, I had similar circumstance. I didn't get fired from my job, but I had a plan, right? I had said the year before, okay, I'm getting divorced, so I'm going to stay in my corporate job until the end of 2019 so I can build my income and be safe and all of this stuff. And then I shaved half of my head and dyed my hair purple. And then this, series of events started to unfold, and it got to the point where I could not take it anymore. And something was said to me by my boss at the time that really, really pissed me off. And I was like, well, that's my sign. I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. George Carroll, my coach, we talk about this all the time, is like, say yes and figure the rest out later, or figure it the fuck out later, as he says. And that's really what I did, was take that leap of faith. And here I am almost a year later, I've still got food on my table. I've still got a roof over my head. I'm still bringing in money and continuing to grow in my business and my life. And that's all from taking those actions. And if I can do it, if Krista can do it, any of you can do it too, no matter where you're at.
Yeah. Beautiful message. And there's one other topic I wanted to bring up. And honestly, this could be a whole nother Facebook Live or podcast or YouTube video on its own. But I hear a lot of times too that, and I've struggled with this as well, that it's hard to make money and charge for your gifts and when you're really helping people. Because like when you're really helping people, it feels good and it feels easy and it feels aligned. And then there's like a sense of guilt. And I've heard a woman say one time, she was really religious, and she said, well, like, Jesus didn't pay money to heal people. So why would I expect to pay money if I'm healing people? And I just hear a lot of things like that. And it's not spiritual to charge a lot of money. And we see a lot of coaches and healers and service providers like charge very little because they want things to be affordable versus focusing on getting people results. And there's all kinds of interesting things with, money and following your purpose. There's a lot of stories and for the longest time, I had to get over the fact that like, I truly only felt that getting paid good money was through being a nurse. That's why I was so reluctant to leave my nursing career for so long. And then I realized like, no, actually I can make really good money and even more money being an entrepreneur and starting a coaching business. And I have, I've surpassed my nursing income, but for the longest time, that was my story in my head, is that I can't have a 60-minute video conference with someone online and get paid, $200, $300 an hour to do that. That's crazy. No one will do that. That's impossible. But in the reality is it's what I do now. And it's, people expect to pay that when they work with like a professional coach or a consultant. And so again, it's just crazy. And we could go off on so many different tangents and directions with this, but just wanted to like let you all know too, that if you're feeling like, well, I can't really pursue my purpose because I won't make money doing it, then, that's a story that we have to help you to overcome, because it's not true by any means. And I actually have seen and believe that when you do follow your purpose and you do help people in the way you're meant to, you're actually going to make more money at the end of the day and experience more success and prosperity.
If it comes easy to you, somebody else will pay you to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, we got some comments here. Hi, Sophia. My mom says, you ladies have really sparked emotions and thoughts and ideas for me today. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, Mom. So Krista, talk to us about what's next, because, we've thrown a lot at people today about sharing your mess or taking your mess to your message. Why can I never say that right? Turning your mess into your message. But there's so much more to this. Like right now, we've given you a lot of ideas, but how do you actually do it? So how do we help people do it?
Yeah. So one of the big things that Monika and I are passionate about in our business, Fearless Public Speaking, is we don't want to just be the spiritual, emotional cheerleaders and saying, yay, go follow your purpose. You got this. Like there is an element of that, right? And that's what today was to be all about: inspirational, sharing the why and sharing our own stories. But the next step after this is you do have to have real tools and skills that, if you really do want to make this leap, if you really do want to be a profitable coach or business owner, you really do want to learn how to use your story and your life events and your message and use it in a way to create speaking opportunities, workshops, retreats, group programs, businesses. You do have to have the tools, and you have to have the marketing skills and the sales skills to do that. And so we've created a workshop next week. It's March 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern. And it's again, the same title as this: How to Turn Your Mess into Your Message. And we're only opening, I think, between 10 to 20 spots. And we're going to be working with coaches and business owners and speakers and authors. It's all online. And we're going to teach you how to take your life story and condense it down into your elevator pitch, which Monika is super talented at helping women to do this. And so we're going to help you come up with this really clear statement of, who you help and why you help them and how you do it. And then from there, that can turn into all kinds of different things. You can use that on your website. You can use it on your sales copy. Again, you can use it for your next book, your next workshop. But again, if you're sitting in this space and you're like, all these things have happened to me and I know they happen for a reason, but I don't know what to do next, then you need to be at this workshop, because what we found is that when you are unclear about who you help or how you can help them, then you're not going to take action because you're not going to feel confident in yourself. So what else did you want to add to all that, Monika?
I just did a post about this morning too, right? That's what keeps us from taking action, is being unclear. If we're not clear with ourselves, then how can we expect other people to get clarity from us? And again, it's down to taking action. So this is where, like, Krista and I are going to help you get shit done. We're going to help you actually figure out how to do this and commit to doing something by the end of our session, so that you can go out and start using this and start creating that momentum in your business or your book tour, or your podcast tour, or your speeches, or whatever it is that you're looking to do, that you can create that momentum. Because once that momentum builds, it builds momentum not only outwardly, but also inwardly. And so that's when you'll want to go out there and start talking more about what you do and getting hired. So yeah, it's going to be really amazing. It's $97, which is ridiculous. Like, for a 2-hour session with me and Krista, it's going to be jam-packed with value. And like Krista said, I think we've got about 20 spaces open. We've already got some filled. So we like to keep it smaller so that we can give you guys our full attention and make sure that we get some time to do some playing and some coaching on the call as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll drop the link to register in the notes, comments, show notes. I'm fancy now. In the comments for the video today. And, just come join us for that session. It's going to be awesome.
Totally. And just a reminder, it's next week on Wednesday, March 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern. We picked a time zone that would be friendly to people all over the world, because we'll have people from all over the world joining. And again, you're not going to want to miss this, because anytime Monika and I work with people, they're always taking action afterwards. So the fact that you're going to know exactly who you help, how you help them, why you help them, you're going to have all these clarity, all these answers. You're going to be so excited to go for next steps, right? Like, maybe it is writing that book, or starting the podcast, or creating your next workshop or retreat or group program. But again, if you're feeling really unclear and all over the place about, your niche and what you do in your business, or what to call yourself as a coach or whatever, like, you're not going to take action. You're going to stay stuck in your head. And guess what? When you stay stuck in your head, you're not going to make money, and B, you're not going to be able to help people the way you want to. And you're going to be frustrated, and you're going to give up, and you're going to go into the all or nothing story and be like, I don't even know why I'm trying to do all this. Trust me, I've been down this route before. So we want to make sure this doesn't happen to you. This workshop's going to be so much fun. We're going to do lots of drawings and giveaways, and it's just going to be a really positive, inspiring, female entrepreneurial community. So I can't think of a better way to spend 2 hours online next Wednesday.
Definitely. By the way, we do get some spiritual dudes in our sessions every once in a while too. So if you're a spiritual dude and you feel called and you like me and Chris's energy, we are inclusive as well. So I want to throw that out there, because we've had a couple guys in the past who it's been awesome to have their presence in there too. So if you feel called and you want to hang out with a bunch of really awesome chicks from all over the world and like learn something about turning your mess into your message, come on board. We'll welcome you.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll put that Eventbrite link in the comments so that you can register today. Save your spot. Only $97, no brainer pricing. And we're so excited to, work with you next week.
Thank you, everybody. We're so excited to get to spend this time with you today, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.